Yo, what's up everybody and welcome to today's feature. I am joined by Cleo and her Mini Cooper S. Hello, introduce yourself.
Hello, yeah, so I'm Cleo and you are going to be joining me today with my Mini Cooper R53.
You've done this before, haven't you?
A little bit, dabbled a little bit, not much though.
So Cleo, show us around your car.
Yeah, of course. So we'll start with a bit of the front. So this is the Mini Cooper S, it's the R53, so it's a supercharged version. Most of it you're going to see is actually quite a lot of aesthetic, so not really too much on the engine side of things. But obviously Adam being a bit of a Honda fanboy and JDM fanboy, obviously he's picked up on the NK that I've got on there. So the RP F1s, they've got
What size are these?
They're 16x7.
Very popular,
so
very popular size.
ET35, straight on, no adjustments needed, nice easy fit. Yeah, I've got R88 tyres on that as well, so semi-slicks, probably not the best weather today.
How is it driving on semi-slicks in this, because this is greasy?
Yeah, it's not bad. On track, no, like no chance.
No chance.
No way. On here, it's not too bad though. Keep it straight, don't dive off anyway, you'll be alright.
Cool. Got the red wing mirror caps. Is that just like a race look type feature?
Yeah, no, do you know what? Because it had white on it. There was white before, and I thought just the red adds a bit of a contrast to it because it just looked too white. So just add a bit of colour on it. Something to look at, looks a bit nicer. And
big sticker on the door. Let's explain this because so it's a Javelin Track Days Sprint Series. I've done quite a few normal track days with Javelin, and I assume you've been taking part in a different type of track event.
Yeah, so was it last year? A few races. Yeah, just doing some Sprint Series, literally just a case of a couple of sprints.
Would you recommend it?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a bit fun. Yeah, I think it's one of those things whereby it will push you because it encourages you. Because you're against the clock, you have to drive. You got to go. So
cool. How did you get on?
I didn't come last, but that
didn't come last. It's good enough. Good enough for me.
I'll say I'm underpowered. No, I'm joking. Yeah, this is a good laugh though. Yeah, with this one as well, it's got the one thing that's obviously quite cool about this one is it's got the R56 front bumper on it. So it's got the Gen 2 front bumper. It's custom made. It is broken because I broke it, but I will fix it eventually. Yeah, so it's got the R56 front bumper on it, which is pretty cool. I've put facelift headlights, colour coded it all, so it's all grey. There's no chrome left on it anymore. It's got the JCW side skirts, rear bumper, the orange rear G-wing spoiler as well.
So what's orange?
Orange is the company. They're basically like a mini performance company. So they started up. Yeah, that's the one. They started up. Yeah, they just had their own cars, had their own minis. They wanted to basically develop parts for their own purpose, and then it got to the point where they just sort of built up and started selling stuff, and now they're quite a big, pretty successful company. Cool.
So, well, that's awesome.
That's it.
Did I see somewhere on the inside there was like a date stamped orange sticker though? Is someone dead?
Yeah. So one of the guys who
I didn't mean to say that so disrespectfully, by the way.
Yeah, Rich. So he was actually one of the guys who actually initially started it. So the name actually
Rich
Orange,
Phillips.
Yeah, is each of their names.
Oh, okay.
Their names. That's where the orange came from. Yeah, he did. He actually passed away a couple of years ago now. About 4 or 5 years
that's sad.
ago.
It's nice they've got a little like sticker to.
Yeah, like a memorabilia one.
For sure.
Yeah,
so you say, before we hop on the inside, have you got any brake upgrades, or is everything standard? Or do you run different disc and pads?
So I've got DS 2500 pads in the rear, standard discs. The front I've got R56 Cooper S front calipers. It's got night-tracked 8-groove discs, and we've got a Carbotech XP10 front pads. So
cool. How are they? Good for track days. Bite once you've got a bit of heat in them. Terrible driving around in the cold though. They squeak like mad. Yeah. Really mad. Yeah. Cool. Well, I love how the Yankees sit. Like the fact that they just sit so good, and you can have chunky track tyres on it. What else have we got going on the car? Did you say you got anything going on under the engine bay?
Yeah, I've got a few bits.
Yeah? Let's pop it open, let's have a look.
It's got... The only thing really is it's just not been max tuned, anything like that. And these large cat cams, injectors. So that's the engine base. You've got AirTech top mount intercooler, Canton aluminium racing tank with a stand cap on it. It's got a 70%.
Oh, that's cool. Sorry to interrupt. That's really cool. Yeah, I like that.
With the lines on it. Very cool.
And what else were you saying? Sorry, I've been rude and interrupted you.
No, that's right. So we've got the Cavs 17% reduced pulley. So it dynoed a couple of years ago about 209 brake horsepower.
Cool.
So not too bad considering it's about 170 sort of stock from the factory.
So what suspension does it run?
So it's got AP coilovers, and I've also put recently some Silver Project adjustable top mounts. So I've yet to put the camber set up with that. I think it only goes to about -1.7 degrees on the front. Rear's got adjustable control arms, about -2.5.
Cool.
So that's why I need the front a bit more cambered as well.
Sweet.
Yeah, so I said not too much on the engine bay. It's probably a little bit more showy than anything else.
Yeah, but you use it, so.
Oh, I use it. Oh, yeah, you get to use it.
Inside of the car, let's have a look. Do you want to meet around the other side?
I can indeed.
Right, what we've got going on in here, we've got Corbu Pro Series racing seats available at 61.com.
Shameless plug. Yeah, so we've got the Pro Series seats. I've got 5-point harnesses, the other bits underneath. I never use it unless I'm on track. We've got the OMP 330 Targa Alcantara steering wheel. I've got the JCW carbon fibre and Alcantara carbon gear knob, and obviously handbrake as well. They've gone up so much as well.
Have they?
They were like 30 quid when I bought it. They're now selling for 170 each.
Oh my god!
I know. I was like, what? Okay.
Is dial a normal dial in one of these minis?
No, so these are aftermarket dials. I think they're from a company in America, but
I really like those. I'm gonna have to sit in here because I can't keep leaning. Hang on.
But they actually, I feel like they make the car.
They definitely make the interior more unique. I'm a big fan of yellow, so that is really cool to me. And then you've got like carbon look surrounds on there.
Dipped, yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, and we've got the black headlining as well. That was all originally grey. All the door cards were like a silver as well. It didn't really look very nice. It looked a bit dated.
And what dial have we got over there?
That's just an RPM gauge.
Okay.
I can't actually, because of the smaller steering wheel, you can't actually see the RPM gauge anymore.
Right, okay.
Obviously every time you move it, so we now have, that's been there anyway, but that's really helpful to have a digital one.
Cool, let's pop the boot and have a look in there, what you got, well, the lack of stuff that's in the boot, shall we? So, in the back, we have no rear seats.
We do not.
So is this, are they just folded down, or is there...
No, totally gone.
Totally gone?
Yeah, so the seats have been taken out. This is just essentially a boot build, but underneath. So I've got a bit of storage underneath there. I've got 2 compartments.
Oh, cool.
Always got to have spares. I've actually taken most of them out for this video. And then of course you've got to ask about that. So because it's got an R56, so instead of having the original R53 exhaust with the 2 back boxes, this has now got an R56 that's straight through. So that meant the battery had to be raised. Okay. The battery's just in there basically.
Okay, cool. Why'd they have to do that? Sorry, what's the reasoning behind that?
Because the battery would sit lower. So because it's had one exhaust pipe back box coming through, it wouldn't fit. Right, okay. So I had to cut the battery out, lift it all up.
That seems like a lot of work for an exhaust.
No, not at all.
No?
No, but it sounds so much better though.
Okay, cool. Cool. We have a roll cage.
We do indeed.
And who makes this?
This is a Safety Devices rear half cage.
Cool.
So I've got that on there, just a little fire extinguisher on the back, probably more cosmetic look rather than actually a functional thing.
Did you not feel any difference at all when you put it in? Because when I put mine in my track car, it felt insanely different, but I got a full cage, so...
Yeah, much different, much different. And then also I had the rear anti-roll bar done at the same time.
Cool.
The rear anti-roll bar, the cage put in, anything else? Yeah, the rear control arm, so it all totally changed the whole back end. A lot stiffer, but not too much. Yeah,
it looks really, really smart. If there's anything else to talk about before we go drive it?
Not like I think of, no.
No? Let's hop in.
Let's go.
Cool. It's not completely uncomfortable. It's definitely they're quite a solid suspension, aren't they? Yeah. Have they got much adjustment in them, like dampening wise? No. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. At least these seats that are available at 61.com are very comfortable, and I'm a 34-inch waist at the moment, and I can fit in these perfectly.
These are standard. These are standard seats.
Are they standard sizes?
They're standard ones, yeah.
Nice. So, what got you into cars? Where did it all start?
For me, probably, okay, so like 2 things. So my dad's always liked classic cars and stuff, so a bit of influence from him growing up as a kid. And then more so, when I was like 20, I bought my first Mini Cooper R56, so the turbocharged one. And then I sort of started getting onto the forums, so like Mini Talk forum, and then kind of get to the depths of modifying. And then I ended up, so I think my R56 had like Rotorfork BLQs on it.
Okay.
I was one of those. I was like, you know, as I see Queen, but one of those. Yeah, I use the term really lightly. Yeah, so I just did that, and then from then onwards, I had like a Cleo 197, and then I did a track day, like I said, off the forums. I met with a couple of guys, never met before. We went and did Brands Hatch, and then it was kind of like after that, that's kind of when everything sort of started to blow up a bit more.
Yeah, cool.
Modifying cars and...
What brought you back to minis?
Like, what is there something about minis themselves that you're like, oh, I love these things, like, or is it just like an opportunity like this one was available?
Cheap thrills.
Yeah.
They're just cheap thrills. Like, they're so cheap, especially this one in particular. So my last one kept breaking all the time. It just was a terrible engine. It's got like a Peugeot engine in it, so it was really bad.
Wait, less than the Peugeot hate.
Less than the Peugeot hate. Look right here, was it? No matter what I did to it, well, I looked after it, it still kept going wrong. So yeah, so I ended up going for this one, to the R53. This is my second one, and like I said, it's got 83,000 miles on the clock. It has been absolutely solid.
Cool.
Like, no issues, no nothing. So it's kind of like I've hung on to it for so long. It's because it's just been so reliable.
Yeah, and like you say, cheap thrills. Like,
yeah.
So, do you mind me asking what sort of money you can pick something like this up for? Because I know nothing really about minis, so like it's cool for me to learn as well. Like,
yeah. Nowadays you can pick up seriously kitted out ones. I mean, this would probably only be worth about $4 grand.
Wow, really?
If that, as it stands, yeah. Because the thing is, it's worth more. I mean, I worked it out. If I sold the car for 2.5 with a few bits on it, took the rest off, it's probably about £7,000.
They're only £2,500 now.
Yeah, if you want to get one, yeah, that's like kind of got a few bits on it. Yeah, they're pretty cheap, but it could be roadly.
That's incredible.
Like,
I didn't realise they were that cheap.
Yeah, for like a nice one, kitted out, clean, tidy. Yeah, probably about £4.
So what you said about these being cheap thrills and what attracts you to them is like that was what attracted me to Hondas back in the day.
Is it?
Because they used to be cheap thrills.
Yeah.
Now they're not anymore, and it's kind of like you left at a loss when you used to be able to buy and change cars all the time and be a bit like, oh yeah, I want an Integra, I want an DK9, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore unless you've got fucking real deep pockets.
Yeah,
so
because they're like double figures a lot of those now.
Yeah, they are, and it's ridiculous. Because why would you? I'm not even going to get into it. But anyway, this seems like I didn't actually realise how cheap they were. Honestly,
Yeah.
this would probably be something I'd look at then as a cheap track car because.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a hell of a lot more. It's worth more in parts. It's got more in parts than the actual car is worth.
Yeah, that's really
But then
cool.
a lot of stuff comes up second hand, so you can make it kind of as expensive or as cheap as you want. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. What is your favourite modification you've done so far on the whip?
On the whip, mixture of two.
Yeah.
Mixture of two.
Go on then.
I do love the seats and harnesses. I do love it. Purely because when you're actually driving the car and you are stuck in your seat and you can feel everything, everything's a bit more predictable. I know it's a really strange thing, but when you actually feel that difference from just a normal seat to actually being in your seat, that's a big difference. And then if we're talking like aesthetically, I love the front bumper.
Yeah, it does definitely makes it a little more aggressive.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure. I like your wheels. I think they're probably my favourite thing. I like the Yankees. I think they're really cool. But yeah. So what would be next after this? I understand you're back in college. I fully understand you're studying your motorsport stuff at the moment and you want to get really involved in that. But once that's all together and you're in the next stage, what's the next?
My next thing is probably going to be. So I've always wanted a Porsche. I've always wanted one. Really like them. I've driven a few in the past. So for me, it's kind of always been like a dream car that's not overly expensive and it's going to break the bank. So I wanted like a Cayman S, like a 3.4 Cayman S, a mid-engine. But it would be track car projects, so it would literally replace this.
Yeah, cool.
And it wouldn't be something that I'd buy and whack all the parts on in one go. Like I'd want to build on it. Just sort of do bit by bit, feel the differences. So, yeah, so that'd be my next. That's my next car.
Very cool. Have you had any big problems with this as you've been building it at all? Like, or anything come up? No problems at all.
Literally.
Wow, a trouble-free modified car.
Literally trouble-free.
Love that.
I know. That's why I'm so reluctant to get rid of it.
Yeah,
That's why I
no,
don't want to get rid of it and then get the next one and it just blows up.
Yeah.
Especially those bloody Caymans, don't they blow up? IMS bearings and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So would you do anything different?
What, in this?
Yeah. Or would you just do it all again like this?
The last things, no, I wouldn't do anything different. I love the way it looks.
Me too. I think it looks really cool.
Yeah, I love the way it looks. And a lot of people, because my last one used to be black. It's like black roof, and then it had bronze wheels.
Okay.
Which look really nice, but then everyone's got black roof, bronze wheels, so it was nice to keep the white.
Yeah,
it just
for sure.
looks different.
I quite like the white roof. I think it looks pretty smart. I do think it looks really smart.
It works well.
Is there anything?
Subscribe to my OnlyFans.
You have an OnlyFans?
I don't.
So you have your own YouTube channel as well, right?
We do indeed. Yes.
Can we expect to see some quite regular uploads from you this year? Well, 2021.
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to. The only thing is, college at the moment is kind of like taking up all the time. But yeah, any day that I get free, absolutely, definitely do.
And what would people see over there? What's it called? Give it a shout out.
It's called Cars and Brass.
There you go for you creepers out there.
That's it. Not my most. Not the best of names, I'm not gonna lie, but I was like, it's catchy, it rhymes. and I like to get pretty normal. So I can pull it off and get away with it. Yeah, so a lot of it, like with anything really, you start out with what you've got. So I started out with obviously the Mini, so I did a bit of work on that, a couple of track days on there. I've also got a Land Rover Defender 90, so I've done some off-roading videos on that.
Cool. And we can expect to see the motorsport stuff popping up as and when you're able to film that, yeah? Yeah,
definitely. So there'll be a lot more like modifications and stuff. Obviously, if I get another car, that's always going to be in there. Essentially though, my plan was always to kind of go out, kind of review places, actually go and find places to drive, go do some road trips, try different cars, car reviews, so a bit of a mixture really. And then of course, with stuff like that, you end up meeting loads of different people, and it just kind of branches out, and then just one thing leads to the next.
Absolutely.
So,
what is your end goal with the motorsport stuff? Like, do you have like a end vision in sight for that, where you kind of like, right, that is where we're heading?
Yeah, so I kind of, for me, it's a case of, I want my own racing team. So I want my own garage, I want my own racing team. I think it's going to take me a while just to sort of get in there, work in a couple of places, and actually find what I enjoy most out of it all.
Is that right?
And then, yeah, so from there, just...
And is there a race series that you've got your eyes or heart set on that you're like, okay, that would be like the...
What, F1?
Is that it, yeah?
Do you know, if I could get into F1, I'd love it.
Yeah? But what, for your own racing team? Your own F1 racing team?
Oh, no, for my own F1 racing team. No,
your own race team?
Nothing particular. I wouldn't mind in a sort of Carrera Cup.
Okay, yeah, cool.
It'd be quite good.
What time span are we putting on this? When are we going to see it all happening?
10-year plan.
10 years?
10-year plan.
Hey, I don't think that's even that long. 10 years ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll take 10 years, give or take. We'll see how we end up in the next 5.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we'll see how that one goes for sure, won't we?
Yeah. It's good to have goals, otherwise what are you working for?
Hell yeah. And that brings today's video to an end. Cleo, thank you so much for coming down and showing us around your car.
That's alright, thanks for having me.
Tell everyone where they can find you on everything.
Yeah, so you can find me on my Instagram, which is quite literally Cleo Collins, which is just my name, and then the Cars and Bras is, again, quite literally just Cars and Bras.
Sick. Well, thank you very much for coming down. I really, really hope you guys have enjoyed it and enjoyed seeing around her car and also hearing it, because it sounds amazing. I wish you could smell it when it goes past you as well, because it smells amazing. Yeah, follow her on our channels, and yeah, hit subscribe on the channel if you're new here, and yeah, see you in the next one. Peace.